More dramatic. I can be more dramatic.
Yeah, I like that.
Hold on. I can be dramatic. So don't trust this man. So officially, this would actually be season the dose. It's good to be back. We've had a bunch of stuff going on. Try to keep you sort of up to date. Not really, but we're back and ready to get going. So, okay, here's the thing. I made a bit of a promise last go around, but I would talk about stuff if you guys asked. So I'm going to keep my word because I love you and I love Jesus. We're going to talk about biblical inerrancy. This is from a friend of mine. Her name rhymes with Kipole. I'm just kidding. Her name's Nicole. So here's the deal. Here's the thing about biblical inerrancy. I'm not even sure what that means exactly. Well, I think I know what it means. Biblical inerrancy is the general thought that God inspired what we have in the 66 books of the Bible, and those things, the things contained therein, are right and correct. Some might add things like irrefutable, undeniable. I don't know. That's the basic idea. So if someone says, "Hey, do you believe the Bible is inerrant?" What they I think are asking you. Not that Nicole asked it this way. I think she was just curious what I thought about it. But people will say, if they say, "Do you think it's inerrant?" They're meaning, do you think that God breathed the words that we have in front of us? I think it's tricky, right? So I would say this, and this isn't original to me. You can Google this and find a lot of really, really smart folks, way smarter people who talk about this, and they'll talk about whether about how the Bible may not be inerrant, but they believe the Bible to be true. And I think that's kind of how I feel. So here's what I mean to say. If to maintain biblical inerrancy, the creation account in Genesis has to be 6 literal 24-hour periods, then I don't believe in biblical inerrancy. However, do I believe that the biblical account of God being the source of creation is true? Yeah. It doesn't matter to me if it was with a big bang, or if a dinosaur exploded and then here we were, or if it was a wee little angel who came to the earth and God poured a little bit of water on him and then he turned into... It doesn't matter to me how it all began. What matters to me is that I really do believe that God is the source of all things. In him we live and move and have our being, right? So then you might be thinking, wait, you believe that? Because Jesus or Paul or whoever said that. Who said that? In him we live. That's Paul. Sorry. Paul said that. So here's the thing, right? I do believe in the historical person of Christ. I believe in the literal, bodily, corporeal resurrection. For sure, some people don't. I get that. Here's what's different in the way I think about things now versus the way I used to think. If someone out there in the world believes that Jesus coming back from the dead is some sort of ephemeral reality, some sort of this ethereal thing where his risenness is not quite the real in his body. That makes no sense. Take 2. Cut! There's a guy named Marcus Borg, and he talks about the resurrection, that Jesus is Lord now after he was crucified. But he won't go so far as to say, I think, if I can be fair to him, that Jesus bodily left the tomb in his body. The body was dead and came back to life. I'm not mad at Marcus Borg. I'm not getting worked up over it. Because as best I can tell from the witness of the things he's written and the way it appears that he is trying to live his life, he wants to honor Christ and live in a way that Jesus modeled when he was here on earth. So here's the bigger question that I have for everybody out there. How many mouths has biblical inerrancy fed? How many folks who are cold in the winter because they have no place to go or can't afford their heating bill has biblical inerrancy kept warm? So what's interesting to me are the hills we've chosen to die on. And here's what I think is really dangerous. I think it's dangerous to deify the Bible. So if you take what God says about the Bible, what Jesus said about the Bible, it was given to us to teach us and to train us and to encourage us and to help us to grow. Great. It wasn't given to us for us to worship. We weren't given the Bible so that we could then use that Bible to make people's lives harder. We weren't given the Bible so that we could go on YouTube and debate people about how the earth was created. Whom does that help? It's a small God who can't be the source of creation except for one particular way. Uh-oh. It just got real. So yeah, so it's a little, that's kind of how I feel. So I suppose if I was really forced to just say, I would say this. I don't believe the Bible is inerrant. I don't think it claims to be, nor does it have to be. In fact, I would say that I think that's asking the wrong question. Is the Bible true? Is the picture we see of God, particularly as we look through the lens of the life of Christ, true? And I would say that yes, it is. Yeah. Okay, so here's the deal. I'm going to, please, by all means, YouTube, comment, Facebook, and tell me how I'm going to hell, whatever. Anything you want to talk about, that's great. But I may not get to it right away. I've got a lot of things I want to talk about over the next weeks and months, and we're just going to dive right in. So, read your Bibles. Love Jesus. Merry Christmas. Don't trust this man.